if you have been inspired by the athletes in the Olympic Games, you may like this post, because I've coached and mentored several Olympic athletes, and I've observed 5 different traits that I think are responsible to differentiate just the talented, just the amazing, gifted, talented athletes from the extraordinary Olympians, right? The top of the top. And what I find is that those same qualities, those same traits are actually very transferable to any area. And that those are the same traits that separate high performers in any field. And you can learn all of them, which is really a remarkable thing. Do you want to become more self-aware and clear about your goals? Try our free Xponential score. In just 5 minutes, get a high-level picture of where you stand in key life dimensions. Get your personal life score at exponential.life/score. First, I want to tell you a story to illustrate the gap, right? I have a friend, he's a world weightlifting champion. And at one point he said, I'm going to work out with you. I'm going to get you in shape. So we went to Gold's Gym. We did one workout. I'm sitting in the locker room trying not to faint, like literally trying to just breathe and not to faint because the room is spinning. And he's like, hey, so what's going on? I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to keep it together. This is too much. And he's, of course, teasing me a little bit and saying, hey, when are we going to work out next time? And I said, no, thank you. Thanks for teasing me. It's okay. You can tease me. You're a world champion, but I'm not going to work out with you. The reason I tell you the story is because the difference between that level of excellence and mastery and just a normal person is vast. And you can actually get there if you develop these 5 traits. These are the 5 traits. The first one is mental resilience. It's this ability to turn stress into focus like this. You can totally learn this. And this is the thing that separates the people that win from people that don't win and don't get to actually the Olympics in the first place. I have a friend who is a giant slalom skier. So she would go to the Winter Olympics, obviously. And they go so fast. They go 50 to 60 miles an hour on a pair of skis, 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. And she tells me that every time she's on top of the mountain waiting for the start, for that signal to go down, she's scared. And what she tells me is that in that moment, you have to be able to switch that fear off and turn it into focus, because you can't think about what will happen if you fall at that speed, right? It doesn't sound good. If you miss the mark, if you just are half a second shy of a medal, you can't think of any of those things. What you need to do is you need to be able to focus, and you can learn those things. The second trait is discipline. You know, you can't really even get to those defining moments where you need mental resilience and that hyper focus if you don't have this daily discipline of basically improving 1% every day, doing the mundane things that don't feel like fun. They're not inspiring. They don't have a soundtrack behind them, right? And most people just don't do the 1% a day thing. Most people dabble. The champions in any field, not just sports, they have this discipline of improvement. I have a friend who was an Olympian in short track speed skating. So it's a small ring, and they go very, very, very fast. And there's a bunch of them. And like every inch matters, because you can just bump somebody and like 3 people go down. So precision is massive, right? So I've been to some of the practices, and it's just remarkable how these guys are doing the same thing. They're going fast on skates around a pretty tight circle. It's very, very fast. And everything from their physique to the precision of their movement. I mean, the massive leg muscles can tell you this has been done not thousands, but millions of times. And it's remarkable to observe just how devoted to these incremental, inch by inch, 1% a day improvements people can be. And again, you can do this. You can be that person with discipline, where you'll be okay with the mundane 1% a day improvements, and it can change you actually within 6 months to a year. There are stats that show this, that if you dedicate 18 minutes to a new skill, by the end of the year, you can be an expert in that thing. Not in every field, but in most fields. Third one is this: passion. I have a friend who's a Greco-Roman wrestler, and he's been doing that. When we met, he was at the top of his game, right? One of the top in the world. But he had started when he was, I want to say 7, seriously doing the sport at age 7. You don't even know if you're going to be, if you have the talent, if you're going to be at the top, anywhere at the top, when you're 7, when you're 9, when you're 10, when you're 15. You just don't know. But what you need is this passion, this drive, something that will act like a fuel to keep you going when you're not even good yet. And what he tells me is that what he found in those early years as a child, as a young adolescent, and then a young man, was this camaraderie, this community with those people that he was training with, because they did everything together. He felt this belonging. He felt he was on a mission. He would be around accomplished athletes, and they would tell him stories about what matters most in life. So there's this layered sort of dimensionality of the right fuel, of the right passion, the right drive. And I find that many of the people that I even work with and coach, they haven't found that. So we sort of find the fuel. We sort of look and search, what is that missing piece, the thing that will drive you when you're not even close to your target yet, but it will get you there faster. The next, it's probably my favorite because I'm a coach, and it's coachability. Now, I've worked with CEOs, entrepreneurs, fashion designers, artists. In coachability, athletes are my favorite by far because they are humble, they're attentive, they're truly obedient. It's an extraordinary experience to coach a mountain of a man who can kill you with his bare hands. And when I speak to him, he will do everything I say. He will listen to every word. He will not push back. He will not grumble. It's truly humbling, to be honest with you. And I find that extraordinarily developed in athletes because they understand that their victory hinges on coachability, hinges on listening to somebody who is ahead of them, who've done something, who knows something that they don't know. And they might not be even as strong as they are in that moment, but there's something that they bring to the table that will enhance their performance and get them to the finish line, get them to medal, get them to the podium. The fifth quality I've observed in Olympic athletes I've coached and mentored is this attention to detail. I have a friend who did Nordic Combined. Nordic Combined is skiing, but 2 types of skiing. 10 kilometers race, cross country, and then ski jumping. Ski jumping is particularly scary to me because I've seen it in action, and it involves this very steep hill. They go almost vertically down. And then there's a spot where they take flight. So I would basically stand in that spot. I would just climb to the place and I would just observe. And it's awe-inspiring because they would go way down. It's super, super fast. And then in that spot, everything would go quiet. And all you could hear is the wind in the skis that were used as wings. So you'd go, whoo, and they would go down 450 feet, about 140 meters. And I could see just how much detail there is in the balance. It was a lot of this. And just 1 millimeter off, the sort of the aerodynamics could cause a huge fall. So sort of these incessant focus on detail in the most high intensity situations. Are you enjoying this podcast and ready to level up? Discover high performance coaching at Xponential. Visit xponential.life to book your free strategy call. You can tell us where you are, where you want to go. We'll give you free advice. And if it's a good fit, we'll tell you all the amazing results our clients are getting and all the details about Xponential. If you like this video, I want to ask you for a favor. Can you please subscribe, hit the bell button, and forward this to people who could use the inspiration? Thank you again.